don't know, it's just a natural progression, an extension of my home because, I don't know, the world's so... Can't you pretend you're somewhere else too when you live here? It's designed for night, it's not designed for day. We're meant to be working during the day. Everyone wants those bright, airy houses.
Well, yeah, I noticed that you've got twos of a lot of things. Is that just because
yeah,
that
I know.
happens?
Always, Pussy always a buy two! Two's better than one. Two's twice, if you buy two of the same thing, it's 3 times as valuable. It's just about creating a fantasy environment. Fantasy furniture and fantasy environment. Like, sort of like, you know, why does it have to be so, you know, ordinary?
A lot of things I buy, it's just about the craft in them, or I appreciate how they've been put together. It doesn't have to be super old, it's just how it's constructed. And so I'll buy textiles, which is probably more my type of thing, but it will be a Filipino backpack. There's always crazy sort of fringing on it, but it's just the way it's put together and it just tells a textual story, so that's what I like.
I studied fine art painting and printmaking, and I ended up printing on fabric because I couldn't get paper big enough. That's how I got into, yeah. Then had the fabric, and we're going out, and started cutting the fabric up and making clothes out of it. It was just a natural progression, but it wasn't a conscientious. I knew lots of people in the textile department, but they used to chase me out. They didn't want me in there because I was the... But now they say I, you know, changed the history now. Oh, he was one of ours, and I was like, oh right, I'm just a sneak in and print. Yeah, I did. My father did have a textile background printing, so I sort of, it wasn't familiar to me. But Peter found his own path as well with that.
Yeah, I was just always into, you know, my mother used to sew, my grandmother had been a tailoress. It was just always, my sister used to do a lot of sewing as well. It was just something that happened in textiles. I went kind of there. I was a bit lost with it though. I didn't know which path to take, so I did a formal, you know, went to the College of Textiles when it was still up in Pascoe Vale and did a buying and merchandising, God knows why. But, you know, that was back in the day when things were all made here and, you know, you could get a career in Maya or doing something like that, going around purchasing stuff from local suppliers. There was a lot of fabrics around. I mean, not probably top quality ones, but I mean, that's the whole transport's changed the whole thing of how and what we do these days. That's why fashion is all flown in. You get a Vivienne Westwood and it's here in 3 days from the other side of the world. If you want it like that.
And you're still saying, hurry!
Yeah, it's like it's not soon enough, fast fashion. But that's the same furnishings, all of that. People used to have warehouses full of stuff. You would select from that. Now, you look at a little swatch, it comes from Germany or, you know, Portugal, and just fly it in. You know, so it makes it all available.
I think when you travel too, it's one of the first things you're attracted to is the textiles when you're looking. And then you have like cupboards full of textiles you brought from around the world, but you go, well, what am I going to do with this? So now you look at it and go, yeah, it's beautiful, but I'm not going to do anything with it. So.
Well, it was like when we were in the Grand Bazaar. You would look at all these fabulous fabrics, but it's like, am I going to do anything with it?
Yeah.
Because they can drink. But that all turned into the cushions in my place. I actually sat down and, right, they've come out of the box, but I've got crates of fabric there that I bought back from London. Just bits of Vixen fabric probably, you know, that I was involved with, odds and ends that, you know, you just keep them, they're keepsakes. That was that point in time in Melbourne though that there was just so much fabulous. You know how cities hit that critical mass for a couple of years and, you know, the Fashion 85 and 84 and all those things were just running around. There was a hell of a lot going on in Melbourne.
And you always feel like it's a bit
exciting.
of a provincial town or somewhere, so you probably try harder. And you think, oh well, this is not as good as what they're doing overseas, so I've got nothing to lose, I may as well just go for it. And then you go, oh, it is, isn't it? So, but yeah, because of communications, we didn't see what we can see now.
Yeah. Well, you only had like an interview or an ID magazine or something in London that looked so crazy, and it's like, oh my God.
That was it, and you were trying to, okay, what's happening in the rest of the world, what am I doing, and how's this all fit in, but I'll just go down this road. So, yeah, now you just look online and see the latest fashion parades or something straight away, which is a great thing. But yeah, I think being a little bit of isolation sort of made us more unique, maybe sort of going down a wild journey of our own. trying to do the most mad prints I could. I don't know, it's just a moment in time of energy and what you could get away with and pushing the boundaries. And I think there was an audience and people were prepared to go with the journey. Like, oh, that's fabulous. You know, it wasn't mainstream. It wasn't about being mainstream. Everything's so like, you know, for the masses now. And so, just who wants that? The masses. Oh, great. I'm not interested in the masses. Yeah, I did a whole different collection of work. Yeah, it was scarves, but it was in different colour layers and that, yeah. This one, exhibition 2 with the Queen opened. I never forgot the first one.
Was that one in Scotland or something?
No, it was in Commonwealth Institute or something, and I was representing Australia or something, and there's a picture of the Queen underneath my fabric or something. So, but that other one was a big deal at the time. I found the fashion industry didn't suit. It was too dictated by other. When we were making clothes, it was pretty art based, and it certainly wasn't about the finances and the fine, you know. But once you start getting bigger, all those things come into play, and your art sort of starts getting secondary. So to keep trying to find the purity of what you're trying to do is almost to keep it small, I think, sometimes. So by that stage, when I was doing scarves, I wasn't making clothes. Because everyone wanted you to follow the trends instead of being a trend setter. And I'm only interested in being a trend setter and not a trend follower. So, so when I did the scarf, I was sort of, yeah, okay, I can keep it pure. And then from there, I felt that I needed to go back into painting and things like that. So, which I always would have done. So it's the same intent. Everything I do has got to have the same intent. So performing or, you know, interior or anything, it's got to have that honesty and pure intent. It's for you, number one, and you've got to live with yourself. So it's got to have your authentic hand to everything that you do.
Well, I knew of Gavin back, but that was what, 84, 85, around that period. So I'd moved to Melbourne. I was studying textiles, as I said, up at Pascoe Vale. I knew of these people. I didn't really become involved in the fashion scene as such. They're not that independent arm of it. I don't know, I was sort of hanging out with, you know, the girls from art school or whatever. Then worked, but then I went overseas for I sort of travelled a bit and went away for 4 years, so I didn't really meet Gavin until I'd come back from that 4 years stint.
Textile, so it's funny that you were printing the larger names, weren't you?
Yeah, well, when I was in London, I fell into printing myself because I'd always sort of been based in textiles. I travelled overseas for a little while, came back, took a job purely because I had a company car with it, and I was selling printing, and then taught myself sort of the principles. I'd done a little bit of screen printing, the principles off that, and then when I went overseas, I said, all right, well, I want to stay in this, and I did women's fashion in Montreal, in Canada. Just rolled up and sort of ended up getting a job in a stockroom there for women's wear labels, sort of probably similar to like a Suzanne's or something. They had a few divisions, and that was fun. It was like downtown Montreal, and then went to France for a while, then rolled up in London and just hassled this poor manager in a printing factory going, I can do printing, yeah, I'm really interested. And that was great. I ended up working there, and we had fantastic sort of, it was a really small little factory but quite versatile. They were doing bits of Vivienne Westwood, bits of John Richmond, Jason Coleman,
Celia Burkwell.
And then the furnishing side, so there's a fabulous Celia Burkwell, you know, and people like that. There were these really art-based ones, and she'd come into the factory and she had dedicated print day, and she'd be running up and down the table. The boys would be printing. She had this little brush with gold on it because they were printing her gold stars. That was just that whole star period, sort of early 90s around, and she'd kick that off. But she's filling in the little bits where it didn't print properly on the silk. And fabulous lady. So I sort of did all that travelling and moved out. So I met Gavin really when I came back.
We sort of started crossing paths in the same scene. The legendary story is more fun than that part, but we did know each other before.
Tell us.
Oh, it was my 32nd birthday and I was in drag. Randall Marsh had thrown me a big drag party, it was all the rage at the time, and I think I was quite, well, I was completely out there at this stage. Just another career, another whole career. But I was making costumes, so there's that whole club scene and club kids and all that. I think he appeared at the club. I'd already seen him before, but he wasn't, I mean, I was dressed with a puffball in my head. Man,
big black afro.
Yeah, big black afro.
Bondage mask. A tight bondage mask on the face and a big chew puffball at the back.
How good is this? Throwing ice at him
from the other side of the bar.
You're cute.
Yeah.
I got his attention eventually. You know, I think because your life is such a, well, you do things all the time, and then people don't really, you meet people every 5 years and they don't realise what you've done. And I think that I had all these scrapbooks I've kept over the years of fashion and the clubs world I lived in and all that. And it was just a vehicle to sort of pump it out there again, and we sort of like treat it like a magazine. If, you know, we try and be positive about it, and if we don't like something we don't really put it up. And
yeah, it's meant to be about fun and up things. It's not meant to, we don't get on there and be nasty. You know, a couple of reviews of stuff we haven't liked, and you have to be honest with it, but it's really not about...
it's for us mainly, and it's, yeah, well, it is for us, or we wouldn't do it. So we sort of were travelling and started deciding, oh, let's put some pictures up, and then it just turned into the castle. Well, Todd Sale became and photographed the house. And Frank Valver, the hairdresser, my hairdresser for 30 years, yes, you can blame him, said, oh, I'll bring someone around to photograph your house. And I'm like, well, can I come now? And I'm like, well, this is a bit odd, you know. Anyway, they turn up and this guy, oh, hi, I'm Todd Selby. I'm like, Todd Selby? And then it's like, yeah, and I went to my computer and opened it and went, this is my favourite thing. And he goes, oh,
log of the time, yeah, the selfies.
So we didn't know he was coming, so about half an hour before, so. He got it. He got our interior and our aesthetic where, you know, like if you look at Australian magazines, like, oh, it's all about the light and the bright airiness, and you know, I always say, well, I design houses for the evening and night because that's where we are. And we live in a dark flat, so we can't pretend it's all going to be bright and airy. So it creates this environment, this sort of salon feel at night, and he sort of got it straight away, I suppose, because he's seen more.
But it is about the object too, because he loves a little vignette,
yeah,
and just picking up what other people see. So
this is where I sit at night, and I can see everything I need to see from this spot.
How lovely.
Yeah, I can see it. Yeah. So that's how it's all designed from this spot. Yeah. I always, my big thing is out with the old, in with the older. Oh my god, about bloody time. I thought I was going to be a big star after that. Everything was going to change. Michael Hutchinson, I sort of knew Michael a few times, met him a few times, sort of, you know. The day before, I was like, I'm going to be in the bathtub. Anyway, so I got all paranoid. And I did things wax. Well, I turned my arms so I couldn't bring them down. So I'm in the bathtub like this. I couldn't stretch my arms. Tragic.
You're going to be a muscle queen for the day.
Yeah, I thought, I'll like go to the gym for it. It took days, sort of just filming, and then we were like going out at night and filming, yeah. I thought that could have been a new career for me. But I'm sort of glad I've got that record of that moment in time. So, I dress up as me now.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
it's a sort of street drag now.
It's the same energy, it's the same intent, and it's just like, you know, it's an age thing. It's like, I just look sillier. You know, it's a bit of fun when I was young, you know. Always been, always
just appreciate
an effort.
Beautiful thing.
Make an effort. I always look at people go, oh, you look good. I go, yeah, I made an effort. Really? I made an effort. It's not that hard. Make an effort. Yeah. Make an effort with everything you do. You know?
Jeans and a t-shirt.
Yeah.
Like,
oh, you look good.
okay,
yeah.
Occasionally, but just doesn't cut it forever.
No. You have to do it for you. You have to make an effort for yourself. You know, put your best foot forward. It makes me feel the world I want to live in. A fabulous world. And you can all sit around being drab and boring, or you can, you know, Yeah. I don't like, well, you know, it's not like I'm going out there. It's just, you know, I'm not trying to say anything. I just like, I like.
Yeah, but so you appreciate beautiful things, beautiful design, and
so why wouldn't you? If you like beautiful things, why wouldn't you like beautiful clothes? Why wouldn't you like beautiful art? Why wouldn't you like beautiful food? I mean, it's just like the beautiful things of life. It's important to.
They enhance your life as well.
Yeah,
and that's it. You want,
and it drags you up. It doesn't drag you. It's like, you know, I think you can, you know, walk along the beach and see a beautiful shower. You know, you just see beauty, find beauty in everything that you do. That's what I try to do. And beauty can be different things to different people. And sort of, you know, sort of dark beauty and ugly beauty is sort of, that's what I like seeing different. I don't want, you know, pretty things. I want things that are atmospheric. And
yeah, they tell a story as well. And that's it.
And sometimes, yeah, like when I dress up or something, I was that person.
No, I like to relax occasionally. I don't. I'm quite self-contained. I can quite happily mosey along by myself, so I'm never that bored.
It's probably not boredom, it's ugliness, like in an ugly situation or something, because I'm by myself all day painting, so it's not like I need outside stimulation. But I'm trying to create something beautiful.
Yeah, and I suppose I deal with people all day, just in work or whatever.
Yeah.
Come home and you want to have a nice quiet time. It's like, what happened today? What? Yeah, half an hour, I'll talk to you then.
And I haven't spoken to anyone all day, so I'm like...
Quick, a human.
Yeah.
You do need a dog. I haven't had a pet since I was a kid. I just don't live a lifestyle that I feel I can devote to an animal. You know, you've got to look after them, walk them, do all that. I wouldn't have a nice dog in a small apartment. I don't know, it just doesn't seem right to me. I would love to have pets, but I'd have to have the lifestyle that I could look after them and appreciate them properly.
Yeah, I love birds, they're meant to be free, aren't they?
Yeah, that cage thing. I mean, I could have a parrot. I would love a macaw or something like that. And it's like, no, you need a big aviary, and it's still not quite right. It's a little bit cruel, but I can appreciate them. You know, one day.
Like, it's a serious job. So I'm in there, you know, 8:30 in the morning, finish at 4:35, whatever. So, I mean, yeah, you have to treat, you know, I mean, that myth of like, just, well, there's some people can do it, but to get their body of work done, I have to sort of treat it like, treat it as a job. You know, sitting around having coffee is not really making art. Yeah, I find that with people, they do get more and more, and they love it. I think when you live with it and you see the intent and the stroke and if you know that person behind it, and I try and put other, people will have a work for years and go, I looked at that the other day and didn't know that there was something else in there. So it's multi-leveled, so you can like, look at it. I mean, I like that painting there. I don't live with a lot of my work. Peter has more in his house because you get too critical of it. But when I've had it for a long time, I see it differently because it's further removed. You can turn the painting around in different angles, so you can sort of hang it the other way. And,
I love that series. It's like all 4 ways and it reads. So
I think that's probably the textile element too about it. Like
creating something that reads a pattern or repeat upside down.
Yeah, I love pattern on pattern and some,
The portrait that he did of me, which was from a very long time ago, which I've sort of grown into it, and then I've grown past it now, so it immortalised me in a younger time. But yeah, that's beautiful.
It didn't make you, it wasn't like a flattering piece, it made you look younger when I did it. I said, oh, don't worry, you look like it.
But I always loved the intent. You did that in the old studios. I remember sitting there, the ones behind the Esplanade, and you were there, so it was just a point in time, so it would be a good, 14 years ago?
Yeah, at least.
I can't even remember the date on it, but yeah, I've just always loved that, and it's just got Gavin Brown, immediacy, strokes, colours. Yeah. Show and tell.
Show and tell.
But that's it. So, yes, that's not overly flattering. It's all about colour and movement, but it was a time, my hair always did look like that. It was bits of blonde through it and spiky, and it just sort of captured me.
It was just done very quickly in an afternoon. Probably should do more work like that.
And it was, yeah, we were just sitting there, I think, so reading or something, I was just looking down. It was all very fast, not very fast, but it's one of those things, and I've sort of grown into it and past it now. Because, yes, it wasn't flattering at the time. It didn't make me look young, beautiful. It was all quite raw, but that's what I loved about it.
You know, it's a vanity thing, isn't it? And then people, oh, I painted.
Yeah, it is hard, that portrait. I think it's like when people take photos as well. And, you know, everyone's doing it now, we're doing Nick Nat Castle, and you take a photo. And people, oh, I want to see it. And it's like, generally most people find so much more critical of their own image. Yeah. Oh, I don't like that one, my eye's a bit wonky.
And we're in that time where people change it and they want an automatic, oh, delete that one, or, you know, and then when you're doing a portrait, it's there, isn't it? It's like, oh, yeah, it never worked, yeah, people want you to make them look fabulous, of course, you know, but and you feel you are, but then they're like, oh, well, I can only do so much. And then if you want a picture that doesn't look like you in the end, I can do that. With commissions, people have even if you do a commission which is not a portrait, they've got a preconceived idea of what they've got in their head. Well, it's not in your head, so you've got to interpret what they think, plus be true to yourself, and plus do. So it's never going to be what, then they go, oh, that's not quite what I thought. Yeah, well, of course it's not. Paint the thing yourself.
That's nice, you made me look a little bit older.
I was going to tell that story, but I was like...
We don't have to name anyone.
No, yeah. I've always used collage in all my work. I'm just attracted to it. I think probably the first time I'd gone into a shop or something and seen some people, you know, in the 60s pop art movement where they used collage and then finding something that isn't, creating something out of nothing, like some magazines. And my fashion world, when I stopped doing that, I had all these magazines and I cut them up immediately. It seemed the natural progression, and then I made art out of it. Art is just fashion. But no one will admit it, because you look at decades and you go, you can tell what decade they were, because it was the fashion. And I've been in the fashion world, so I know, you know, Dribbles 2 years ago was everywhere in everyone's paintings. And it wasn't just one person doing it. And then there'll be like pastel shut, you know, like, and fluoro pop, you know, in artwork at the moment. That's the work that's selling, you know.
That's out of here now.
Get them both out. Me!
We argue all the time.
Yeah, we argue all the time. I just know I'm right, so it doesn't matter. Yeah, I don't know, I mean,
we take different approaches to things, and Gavin's much more creative, I'm much more a nuts and bolts mechanics.
He's practical.
Person. You know.
We know our strengths and weaknesses.
Yeah. And,
and probably when, we step over.
But, yeah, and it's just hard to sort of...
He's practical.
Create things, because we're working on a show for Gavin or whatever, and you're trying to create a direction. He knows where he wants it to go. Got to push it somewhere as well to make it make sense to me, so I can work on it. You know, whether it just be the admin of it, you know, trying to get an image out there, run our own PR. So there's always fights and things like that.
I think as an artist, you think in your head, like, you might be the best to express it, and you just go, you know what I mean. So he does know most of the time.
Yeah,
there's a lot of second guessing there, and it's like, I know what's going on. It just gets done. But, you know, even working collaboratively together, we don't do that much of it. We sort of just support either way. It's like, you know, something needs painting, as in house painting, I do it. It's easier that way.
I don't know what colour to paint. I know what colour I want it.
He chooses the colour, I make it happen.
Yeah. I think you can only control so much in the world, so the bits that you can control, you go for it.
Yeah, Well, that's it. You can control your own space, and the rest of the world's out there, being minimalist and bland, and it's like walk inside. It's lovely coming home here. We've got this great compound here. If you like to call it a compound, you walk down that side bit. We've got all the trees there. It's beautiful. Got friends that live downstairs, and it's a nice escape from what can be. Melbourne's a great city, but it still can be very bland at times as well. So we've got a beautiful little sort of area here that it's like you just escape to.